Good afternoon. It's been a while since I made a video, and that is because I took a brand new job with Scholastic as their director of assessment. So I am talking to you from my office in Manhattan, believe it or not. So my family and I have moved from rural Georgia, where we had 4 acres almost, to about 400 square feet here in Manhattan. So I'm very excited to take this new job. But it did keep me from making videos for a little while, and also there weren't a lot of topics in assessment to talk about because we were going through this massive Common Core transition, and it was all over the summer. It was more about standards than it was assessment. But a new topic has emerged as we have begun this Common Core testing just in the baby stages. So I wanted to talk about some new things that are coming up in terms of assessment. So as we have seen the Common Core hysteria unfold, and it has been just political, nightmare of a situation, we have lost focus a little bit on what's really happening here. And as we're beginning to assess students on the Common Core standards, whether it is a publisher assessment like I produce or a state level assessment, we are starting to see massive score drop. And really New York State went through this, I guess it was last year at the end of the year. So they were the first ones to face it. But I thought it was interesting, or it's been interesting to see people's perceptions as this has sort of unfolded. So I wanted to bring to light the fact that as we are seeing scores drop all over the place, what that really means is we've had score inflation for a while. So I started doing some research on how to explain this to people. And I came across a great article, and I found it on the Freakonomics website, but it's actually an article from The Economist on panflation and the effects of inflation, not just in terms of the economy, but inflation like clothing sizes and job titles. And, we see really interesting inflation effects in lots of different areas. But I think that's what we've seen as No Child Left Behind came into action, and we put scores in place for accountability purposes for the very first time over the last, what's it been, about 10 years. I think score inflation sort of creeped up on us. And so now as the Common Core or college and career or whatever you want to call these new standards have rolled out, we have reset cut points. And so we've set cut points now according to the real world. So the agencies that are making tests now, we look at things like real world texts, and we look at things like real world manuals that you would use in a professional situation to then set the standard towards college and career. These are the things you would need to be able to do, the things you would be able to read successfully to be a productive person in the real world. And then we've worked backwards and reset the cut points down all of the grades. So, starting at kindergarten and going on up, things are much more difficult. The level of rigor is much more difficult. And this is a great thing. It means that we are moving towards an age of better rigor. We're more aligned with what's really happening in the world. We're going to produce students that are more prepared for their careers. But the negative part is that people have had a tough time with perceptions with this stuff. So we've seen massive parent freak out. We've seen teachers and administrators freak out over these test scores. And it's natural, it's normal. So the question becomes, what should we do? How do we help parents? How do we help students process this information? And I think the answer is proactive messaging. So I think that if districts, states, districts, publishers, schools will proactively get the message out that scores are expected to drop, it's okay. It means that we are really more accurately measuring students and giving them a better piece of information than we did in the past, then we're going to all get through this together. It is a little bit ironic, though, because this is really good work that has gone into these new standards and really into these new assessments as well. And it's been an exciting time. And to see the first product of that work be disappointment at score deflation is, I guess it's just ironic. It's unfortunate. But at the same time, like I said before, it's natural, and I would certainly have that reaction too. I'm lucky as a parent. My child just started kindergarten, so she is starting in a Common Core classroom in New York City public schools. So she never knew score inflation to begin with, so she certainly won't get to or won't have to feel deflated. So I'm lucky in that respect. But my heart goes out to everybody who has a student who has slid back in terms of proficiency or scores and is feeling the effects of that. Another thing that's going to be interesting is, and I should preface this with a quote I love from that article from The Economist, which I'll place in the link down below. They said that inflation is like toothpaste. It's easy to squeeze out, but it's almost impossible to put back in. And so a lot of people are trying to backpedal on the Common Core. But the federal government has said you can backpedal on the Common Core, but you can't backpedal on college and career level expectations for students. So they've basically set us up to not be able to put the toothpaste back in. But I think that it will be an interesting thing to watch the political outcomes from score drop, because while it's normal and it's natural and it's good and it means we're enhancing rigor and we're better preparing students and all those things, there's still this emotional aspect of how dare you, basically it's like telling a woman that she was a size 2 and then coming back and saying, ooh, sorry, you're actually a size 8. We accidentally inflated your dress size, which has actually happened over the years too. But the reaction is just unfortunately bound to be negative. But I just encourage everybody to keep in mind as we go through this transition and as we deal with the tears of students and the disappointment of teachers, to remember that it's a new day and it is a time of progress, and we're moving into a new era where we're really preparing kids for college and careers like we never have before. So take heart. We were dealing with score inflation, and now we are bursting that bubble, and it's a good thing. So if you have any comments or questions, let me know. Also keep in mind that I'm thrilled to be with Scholastic, but these videos are just my personal opinion on things, and they don't reflect the opinions of Scholastic at all. So anyway, enjoyed talking with you guys, and as things unfold over the fall, I'm sure I will want to talk to you about more interesting assessment things. Thank you. Bye.